Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to lesson number 6. For the syntax lesson or nahwu lesson, today we're learning by jar majroor or prepositional phrase and ataf ma'tuf conjugational phrase. Right. Al-jaridatu ala al-maktabi. The newspaper, al-jarida means newspaper, is on the desk. Right? Is on the desk. So what happened to the khabar? We can see that al-jaridatu is a mubtada. It's at the beginning of the sentence, a noun. It's got all the hallmarks. It's got a dhamma there. It's got a alif lam there. That seems like the mubtada. But then we got this new word here, ala al-maktab. We can also recognize that it's it's got sort of thing, but it's got a kasra there, and we've got this new word ala on the word. In Arabic, all words are three. They're either ism, and we've learned that already. Ism, a mubtada is an ism, a khabar is an ism, mudaf mudaf ilayh about ism, mawsuf sifa about ism. And second, we're learning the sarf lesson, the verb lessons, where there's verbs fi'l and the plural af'al. Verbs, that's a second type of word. Those are the two main words. And then you got another thing called harf, right? Particles. One of those particles are the harf jar. It's called the harf jar. An example of this is ala on. Al-jaridatu is the mubtada, but we don't have a khabar in the normal sense of khabar, like another noun that's got a that's usually indefinite. For example, we say al-jaridatu jamilatun, the newspaper is beautiful. What we have in its place is this expression or prepositional phrase. Ala, and ala is invariable, it doesn't change, but the noun that comes after it is majroor, and the sign of being majroor, it's got a kasra on the end of it. Similar to mudaf ilayh, right? Similar to mudaf ilayh in the sense that it's got a kasra. So ala is a harf jar, and this is majroor. So together we call this jar majroor. For our purposes, for this book where we're at, we call this jar majroor. Together, this is now the taking the place of khabar. This we call this expression khabar. Jar majroor is now in the place of khabar, of jaridatu. This mubtada, as I mentioned before, the mubtada can be swapped around and put after, and this expression can be put before. So you can say, for example, ala al-maktabi, without changing anything, ala al-maktabi jaridatun, a newspaper, jarida indefinite, also kind of sounds strange, the newspaper. It would be also correct to say ala al-maktabi al-jarida, wouldn't sound totally correct, but we say ala al-maktabi jaridatun, upon the table, on the table is a newspaper, right? Is a newspaper. Here, indi is another word that's used here in a jar majroor. Indi, this is a ya, meaning mine. So this is together, we take this and we say it's like jar majroor. Like it's like jar majroor, it's similar to ala al-maktabi. So indi, this ya means mine, right? Indi, with me, is a jarida, is a newspaper, right? Indi, with me, is a newspaper. So it has, I have a newspaper as a translation. Inda is with, literally, and ya is me. So jarida, with me, is a newspaper. So really, it's, you can say this, you can bring this at the start. Al-jaridatu indi, the newspaper is with me, right? So here it's translated, I have a newspaper. I have a newspaper. Fiha suratun jamila. Now, fiha suratun jamila is a complete sentence by itself. But if you notice, the full stop is at the end of the whole line. Fiha suratun jamila. In it. Fi is another preposition, means in. Ha means it. The ha is referring to jarida in the first half of this sentence. Like the first half here, indi jaridatun, it's referring to jarida because that's feminine. Jaridatun, it's got a ta marbuta, the round ta at the end. So fiha, the ha refers to it. Suratun jamilatun, mawsuf sifa. Right? Suratun jamila, a beautiful picture. Is the adjective of surah, beautiful picture. Right? This is the mubtada that is after, and fiha is the khabar. Fiha is the khabar of this, is the actual khabar that has come brought forward. The mubtada is put afterwards for rhetorical purpose, obviously to make the sense of the sentence. This together, this whole sentence together, fiha surah jamila, was a complete sentence by itself. You could have put a stop there, full stop in between, and you could have two separate sentences. How would you connect this to jarida? Like, what's the relationship? It is a sifa. The whole sentence, although it doesn't make any difference to us in what we understand, but because if you look at it, what is this sentence talking about? It's talking about jarida. So it's giving more information, description. So we say this is a sifa of jarida, the whole sentence. And this is a very common thing. And I think in English you can't do this, as far as I understand, where you can have another sentence just next to it and say this sentence is just, it's a qualifier, it's giving more information about this, unless you put like a relative pronoun between. This is, I have a newspaper which, right, which is, which has in it. So you have to say something like which or something to connect in between it. Again, another one, وَتَحْتَهَا ismuha. Wa is and, تحتها ismuha. تحتها ismuha. Ism is one of those words that if there's a haraka or letter before, you connect it, skip the hamza. You go straight to the seed. وَتَحْتَهَا ismuha. Tahtaha, and tahta is one of those other words. This is like a jar majrur structure, right? Tahtaha, below it, the ha referring to the jarida. Ismuha, its name. Ismuha is its name, right? And under it is its name. Bil lughati al-arabiyya, in the Arabic language. Bi means with, right? Or in, right? For example, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, bi at the start, with the name of Allah. But bil lugha al-arabiyya, if you say with, it wouldn't make sense. This also comes in the meaning of in English, right? But here it's be with. Lughatul Arabiya is mawsuf sifa. Lughatil Arabiyyati, right? This is adjective. Arabiyyati is Arabic, which is an adjective of lugha, the language, the Arabic language, right? So notice that it's got a kasra, it's feminine. Arabiyyati is also feminine. It's definite. Alif lam is also definite. It's singular, that's also singular. Below that. So is notice this is another jar majrur construct. And why is it majrur got a kasra? Because of the be, right? With or in. It comes in that meaning. وفوقها عنوان الجريدة مع عددها. And above it is and is connector, conjunction. It just connects multiple sentences just so there's a flow in the text. وفوقها, and above it is عنوان الجريدة, right? فوق is another one. This is another jar majrur. Unwan is actually the mubtada that is afterwards. You say al-unwanu fawquha. Its title is above it, right? But it's a mubtada that is put after and its khabar is put first. With the jar majrur, you can do that. You put that at the start. Unwanul jaridat is mudaf mudaf ilayh. Ma'a is another preposition. Ma adadiha, ma'a with its number. Adadiha, with its number. So you can have multiple jar majrur to enrich the sentence. You can have your mubtada khabar, right? For example, say ar-rajulu, the man, hadirun, is present, fil masjidi, in the masjid, ma'akhihi, with his brother, right? And on and on and on, right? Fi layli, fi salati, in salat. You can add multiple jar majrur. They're not the core of the sentence, right? They're not the chorus. Even al-jarid al-maktabi, you can say al-maktabi kind is like takes the place of khabar. But let's say if you had a khabar, another khabar, right? Then al-maktabi will be extra information, and on and on. You can have multiple jar majrur, which makes for more complex sentences, inshallah. Thumma, and then, so thumma gives you like an order. Waw is like an and, right? But thumma gives you like then. Right? It's like wow. بعد الصورة على الصفحة الثانية قسم من السفر من العراق. Quite an elaborate sentence, right? So ثم بعد الصورة, then after the picture. بعد الصورة. So بعد is another after. Then after the picture, على الصفحة الثانية, on the second page. So على is another. So بعد صورة is jar majrur, right? على الصفحة الثانية, on the second page, صفحة الثانية موصوف صفة, and على الصفحة, notice it's got a majrur, it's got a kasra, and ثانية is a sifa of that. So this after the second page. قسم is a section. This قسم is like the mubtada. القسم بعد السورة على الصفحة, but it's put afterwards and it's indefinite. من السفر, extra information. jar, min is also, from is a harf jar preposition. من السفر, notice that it makes safari kasra, from the journey, from so qismun, sorry, this is a mistake here. This should be an. So an is safari, about the, not min, it's an. So here's min is correct, but this should be an. So you can correct that in your books, inshallah. عن السفر, about the safar, about the journey from Iraq, jar majrur, another jar majrur added on, min as-safar. These are like bits, particles. Jar majrur, min al-Iraqi ila al-Madinati, another structure there, another jar majrur structure. So these are like three in a row. About anil, so if you can correct that, anil safari min al-Iraqi ila al-Madinati. So there you go. I hope that makes sense, inshallah. Wali fiha, I have, wa and li, for, literally for me, but I have, right, or belongs to me. Wali, li is like say li Zaydin, belonging to Zayd. So for me, or I have, fiha, in it, qismun. So waliya is jar majroor, right, and fiha is jar majroor. Qismun is the mubtada that is afterwards. Waliya fiha qismun, I have in it a section. Anil harbi, about the war. Bain as-sahabati radiyallahu anhum, between the companions. Bain as-sahaba is another the jar majrur structure. Radiyallahu anhum, may Allah be pleased with them. Warumi, and Rome, and the Romans, right? Warumi, literally Rome, I've translated as Romans, but and Rome, right? So I have in it a section. So there's a section in it belonging to me. Anil harbi, about the war, jar majrur. Bain as-sahaba, jar majrur. Warumi, and Rumi follows that because bain is one of those words that requires two nouns, between this and between this. There should be so yeah, this, because it's between Baina Sahabati wa Rumi, and Rumi, it just repeats, the waw is there, so it repeats the haraka from the Baina in on Rum as well, but that's because of the and, the waw that's there. All right, next sentence. So just in the notes, it shows you some of the huruf jar, the prepositions. These are full prepositions. They're huruf, they're harf particles, and they're all invariable, so the haraka doesn't change. على في عن إلى مع من حتى لي بك. So these are the and the translations are there. These are the most common coordinate conjunctions: wa, and, fa, and then. So like fa also can just mean and it can also, similar to thumma, it can show order. This is done, fa, then this is done, and thumma as well. Or lakinna, and lakin means but. These words here, and you saw some of them used like ba'da and bain, and so in reality they are nouns. They're a specific type of noun called zarf. Zarf or makan, zaman. These are but they're like prepositions. The reason they're called semi-preposition is for our purpose in this lesson, we treat them like the first column for the moment. But in reality, they are more flexible. They're actually nouns, right? They're not particles like these words here. But for our purposes, they use exactly like these ones pretty much. So therefore, for the moment, not to be fussed about it too much, they use like that. But they have other usage as well, other ways to use them as well. But for the moment, we use them like harf jar, like the first column here. Just some another example, extra examples of this lesson. So I've simplified this text because based on the grammar rules that we know at the moment. So we kind of like handicapped the moment. The good thing about the examples that are being used and the text that I rely on is to give the discourse should be mature, because most of you are adults, and when you're studying this, instead of studying kiddie sentences, it's better we study dini sentences and some mature content. When I say mature content, like it's not made for babies and children. So they could be talking about war, it could be talking about politics, it could be talking about, although I try to get away from that and talk more about dini things, because our goal is Islamic sciences. But the discourse should be a bit elevated compared to what normally is in beginners' books. Biladu Shami, the land of Sham. Sham is referring to, I think it's translated as Levant, Levant, which is like Syria, Jordan, Palestine, Lebanon, right? So Biladu Shami, mudaf ilayh. Min is from afdali, so jar majrur, afdali. So afdali is majrur because it's got a kasra there. Min afdali, Biladillahi mudaf mudaf ilayh, and then lafz jalal is also mudaf ilayh to biladi, is from the most virtuous of the lands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ajnihatul malaikati fawqaha. The wings of the angels, ajniha is a plural, ajnihatu, the wings of the angels, malaik, the plural of malak, angel, fawqaha is above it, right? So you got like another sentence, mudaf mudaf ilayh is a mubtada and fawqaha is the khabar, which is jar majroor. fawqaha is jar majroor. لها أحاديث كثيرة في فضلها. It has أحاديث كثيرة, right? That's the core of the sentence. أحاديث كثيرة موصوف صفة. أحاديث كثيرة, right? It's got numerous أحاديث on it has لها for it في فضلها. So لها أحاديث كثيرة, says الأحاديث كثيرة لها جار مجرور. أحاديث كثيرة is مبتدا delayed, and then the khabar is put at the start. في فضلها, another jar majroor structure. في فضلها, and fadli is mudaf, laha is the mudaf ilayh. في فضلها, in regards to its virtues. So the land of Sham are from the most virtuous lands of Allah's lands. The wings of the angels are above it. It has many virtues in regard. It has many hadith on its virtues. هي كقلب الأمة وبينها وبين الأمة حب عظيم. Here, it, referring to Bilad al-Sham. كقلب الأمة. It is like, so ka is a harf jar. It's a preposition. قلب الأمة. قلب الأمة is mudaf mudaf ilayh. But B, this got it's kasra because the kaf is the kaf. Like B, it's one word, one letter word. Here it is like قلب الأمة. Right? That's the khabar. Put the whole expression there is the khabar. It is like the heart of the ummah. And وَبَيْنَهَا وَبَيْنَ الْأُمَّةِ حُبٌّ عَظِيمٌ. Between it and between the ummah, the nation, the ummah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, حُبٌّ عَظِيمٌ, a great love, mawsuf sifa. Right? So this حُبٌّ عَظِيمٌ is a mubtada that is put afterwards, and then بَيْنَهَا وَبَيْنَ الْأُمَّةِ is the khabar which is put in front. القدس هي مدينة الأنبياء والرسل عليهم السلام. Quds, right? Jerusalem. Quds, here Medina, it is the Madinatul Anbiya'i wa Rusuli. It is. So Al-Quds is a mubtada. Then here is another mubtada, right? If you remove Quds, then you say here Madinatul Anbiya wa Rusuli. That will make sense by itself. It is a city of Anbiya, mudaf mudaf ilayh, wa Rusuli just follows that. Alayhimus salam is just a dua, it's honorific, put in brackets. Al-Quds. But then why are we doing this for? So this is when we want to bring attention, put emphasis, we use this structure. For example, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Huwa ibadah is already mubtada khabar. Ad-du'a is another mubtada, and that whole second mubtada khabar is the khabar of the first mubtada. Just remember that. So you can have another mubtada khabar, complete sentence in brackets, that is a khabar of the first mubtada, and that's what's happening here. All right. فيها المسجد الأقصى, in it is المسجد الأقصى. So you can swap that around. The original مبتدا خبر is المسجد الأقصى فيها. وإليه إسراء رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And to it is the night journey of the messenger of Allah, his messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم. إسراء مضاف مضاف إليه, right? And then مضاف مضاف إليه, the he is a مضاف إليه to Rasul صلى الله عليه وسلم, right? So وإليه, so this is the إسراء رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إليه. Isra'u Rasul is the mubtada put after. The khabar ilayhi is put first. وَمِعْرَاجُهُ مِنْهَا. And also another information, mi'rajuhu minha. And his mi'raj is from it. So mi'raj is a mubtada. The waw just connects these multiple sentences together. Mi'raju, his mi'raj is from it. وَهِيَ الْقِبْلَةُ الْأُولَى. And it is the qiblatul ula. For this nation, it was our first qibla. Before the qibla was changed to Masjid al-Haram. Back to the qibla of Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَالثَّالِثُ الْمَسَاجِدِ لَنَا. And is the third masjid for us. Right? وَالثَّالِثُ الْمَسَاجِدِ. وَالثَّالِثُ الْمَسَاجِدِ. It is the third of the masajid for us. Like in terms of rank and status. Right? It's the third one. أَمَامَهُ قَبْرُ الشَّدَّادٍ رضي الله عنه. And in front of it is the grave of, in front of it, أَمَامَهُ قَبْرُ الشَّدَّادٍ. So you can swap that around and the mubtada start. So أَمَامَهُ is one of those words, jar majroor. قبر الشداد رضي الله عنه أمامه. Right? قبر الشداد, that's actually the mubtada. قبر الشداد مضاف إليه. أمامه, in front of رضي الله عنه. Sahabi, great Sahabi. He's buried in front of Masjid al-Aqsa. All right. So that's the syntax lesson. Then we go to the verb lesson, sarf. Right. So now today we're learning about majhul. Right. So we learn about muthbit, positive, nasara, nasara, nasaru. We learn about manfi, ma nasara, ma nasara, ma nasaru in the previous lesson. Now we're learning something that from the nasara we make the passive form, which is called majhul. The other form that we learned before, both of them, the manfi and the muthbit, they are both ma'ruf, and meaning that the doer is known. We say he did, she did, those two did. So you're talking about a specific person doer. Here, the doer is unknown. Who it's being done to is known. So nusira, so what you do is you change the first letter to a dhamma, the second to a kasra. So nasara is he helped. Nusira is he, one male was helped. And the end is the same. Nusira, right? The alif is added, right? The beginning is changed. So this follows its structure down to the bottom. The end is exactly the same as the previous ones. So nusira, 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 nusiru, nusirat, nusirata, nusirna, nusirta, nusirtu, ma nusirtum, nusirtum, nusirti, nusirtu, ma nusirtu, nusirtunna, nusirtu, nusirna. I might have missed something there, but the idea is the table. This is why when you get the first time you get these 14, you memorize, drill it. The next one is easier. The next one is easier. Ma nasara is very easy. If you knew nasara from nasara till nasartu, the 14. Then ma nasara is easy because it's the same thing just with a ma. Now this one, but if you left it and it's weak, then this is going to be weak as well. So nasara, make sure that's one table with this translation. Then you got nusira, ma nasara. Then you got this table nusira, the passive form of it, majhul form. Meaning majhul, the actual doer is we don't know who helped. We know who was helped, but we don't know who the helper was. And then this table. I gave one word there. So the three, so there's three now sets of columns in English and Arabic. Two for muthbit ma'ruf, which is nasara, nasara, nasaru, and the English translation. For the word kataba. So kataba, kataba, katabu, and its English translation. Then ma kataba, the negative of that, manfi, kataba, ma kataba, ma kataba, ma katabu, till the end. And then you got this new one, kutiba. He was written. It wouldn't probably make sense fully, this translation, but you have to still do it. Kutiba, he was written, or it was written. Those two males were written. So you have to, maybe the names were written, right, in that sense. But kutiba, kutibu till the end. All right. The hadith for this lesson, hadith to memorize. Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Afdalul jihadi kalimatu adlin inda sultanin ja'ir." This combines a few of the rules that we learned. The best type of jihad is a word of justice in the presence of a tyrannical ruler. Afdalul jihadi, the most virtuous jihad. Mudaf ilayh, this is the mubtada. Afdalul jihad, the most virtuous jihad. Afdalul jihadi. So the kasra is mudaf ilayh to afdalu. Right? Kalimatu is the khabar. Right? Kalimatun would have been the khabar. Right? But this is a mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Kalimatu adlin, a word of justice. Literally, a word of justice. So the most virtuous jihad is then there's extra information. Inda sultanin ja'irin. Inda is that jar majrur structure. Inda sultanin ja'irin. And sultanin ja'irin, tyrannical ruler, is mawsuf sifa. Notice sultan is masculine, ja'ir is masculine. Sultan is indefinite, ja'ir is also indefinite. It's also singular, And so that's so inda makes sultanin majrur, hence is a kasratain there. Inda. So inda is like, in this case, is like harf jar, and there's a jar majrur structure there. So you've got mawsuf sifat, the adjective phrase, sultanin ja'irin. You got the jar majrur inda sultanin. You got kalimatu adli, mudaf ilayh. Afdalu jihadi, mudaf ilayh. And you got afdalu jihadi kalimatu. This is a mubtada khabar. The core of the sentence is afdalu and kalimatu. It wouldn't make sense. Al afdalu kalimatun. That would be, but it wouldn't make sense. The most virtuous is a word, right? But that's the core grammatical core of the sentence. Then you got mudaf ilayh, mudaf ilayh, sifa mawsuf, jar majrur added, and makes a very beautiful. Obviously, it's the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jihad in the path of Allah is not limited to armed combat. Speaking the truth to power is jihad, and as it benefits many and could be spoken. This type of jihad could be done spoken, written, or by action, especially to a ruler who is oppressive. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to practice, inshallah. Jazakumullah khaira. Assalamu alaikum.